There's something no one tells you about falling in love. You don't just join another person, you join their dream, their version of the future that they've been building in their head since long before they ever met you. And they join yours. We have two dreams, two futures, and two people who both feel like they're the hero of the same story. And that's not a problem in the early years. It becomes one the moment those dreams start pulling in different directions. There's a quote by E. E. Cummings that I keep coming back to. The quote is, "The hardest thing in the world is to be yourself." Not because it's complicated to be yourself, but because everyone around you, everyone who loves you, has written a part for you, a role that they need you to play in their story. So your parents had a version of you, your friends do too. And the person that you chose, they're the one with the most detailed version of all. The problem is, what happens when you won't stay in character? There's three things, and it's always these three things. Gaming. This is where you stop being honest and you start being strategic. You say what works instead of what's true. Your partner stops being a person and becomes an obstacle to manage. Blaming. They broke character. And someone has to be responsible for the gap between the dream and what's actually happening. So you assign it. Shaming. This is the deepest move. It's not you did something wrong, but you are something wrong. If they feel small enough, ashamed enough, maybe they'll finally fit into the shape that you need them to feel. Gaming, blaming, shaming. 3 moves, 1 motive. To get your partner back into their role. But there's a massive cost to this. It's not just the relationship, but the cost to you. Because while you're running these moves, every unit of energy that you have is pointed at the wrong target. At managing, at defending, at scoring points, at keeping score. All of that capacity, yours and theirs, is burning, wasted. Not on a life that you're trying to build, but on each other. John Gottman spent 40 years studying couples. And he found that he could predict with 94% accuracy just by watching a couple interact for a few minutes. Not listening for big arguments, but watching for these moves. Contempt, blame, shut down. And they always lead to the same place. The fracturing of the relationship. But what Gottman's data doesn't show you is all the energy that you burned on the way there. All the capacity that never got used for anything more productive. You've probably seen it in hundreds of movies and TV series. There's one particular film, Marriage Story, where Charlie and Nicole are 2 people who loved each other, but 2 people who couldn't stop trying to force the other back into their role. There's this scene where everything that they've been managing, suppressing, swallowing, finally comes out. It's not devastating because it's loud. It's devastating because we can all recognize what's underneath every line. Stay in your part, fit my story, stop costing me so much. Now that scene didn't start there. It started in the quiet, in every conversation that didn't happen, in every version of themselves that they stopped showing to each other. It's in the slow, almost invisible process of disappearing. There's research published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology that documented just what that looks like. When people suppress themselves, their real emotions, their real needs, in the context of their relationship, it corrodes not just their well-being, but the relationship itself. Suppression sours everything that it touches, and the longer that it runs, the harder it becomes to remember who you were before you started performing the part that they needed. I don't want to leave, but stay in me is costing who I am. If you felt that, even quietly, even once, you're not broken. You're not wrong for feeling it. You're just carrying the full cost of the wrong model. I worked with a couple once, call them David and Kate. They'd been together 12 years, 2 kids, they had a great life by every visible measure. But David had spent a decade making himself smaller, not because Kate asked him to, but because the version of himself that she seemed to need was quieter, more certain, less questioning, that he performed it. And Kate spent the same decade feeling alone in a full house. She wasn't living with David. She was living with the character that David was playing, the person that he'd decided she needed him to be. And between the two of them, the energy of 2 capable people, all of it was going into the performance. And none of it was going into building anything constructive. When they finally named it, the relief was immediate. Not because the problems disappeared, because they could finally see what they'd been burning their lives on. Not each other. The old model of love says that commitment means merger. 2 people become one. Your edges have to be softened. Your individuality has to be traded in. That's not love. That's 2 people slowly consuming each other. And it doesn't fail because people aren't committed enough. It fails because it was built to waste everything that you have from the start. 2 dreams in conflict, 2 heroes in competition, 2 people burning their best energy on keeping each other in line. That's not a relationship. It's an energy drain. Not every couple ends up there. Barack and Michelle Obama have talked publicly about their problems in their relationship, are going through couples counseling, about real difficulties, real distance. And what they describe isn't a relationship without friction. It's a relationship where 2 people made a deliberate decision to stop writing each other's parts and to start writing a shared story. 2 careers stayed intact, 2 identities intact, and something built together that neither of them could have built alone. That's not a happiness story. It's a capacity story. 2 people who stopped burning their energy against each other and redirected it into what they could build. A study in the Journal of Marriage and Family found that couples who pursue shared goals report 30% greater relationship satisfaction. It's not because they want the same things in every detail, it's because they stop pointing their energy in opposite directions. Because the question changed, not are you playing your part, but what are we capable of building together that neither of us could build alone? This is what we believe at the Unifiers, that gaming, blaming, and shaming aren't character flaws, they're expensive habits. Habits that the wrong model makes inevitable. That fracture isn't bad luck, it's the predictable destination of 2 people burning their combined capacity against each other for long enough. And that the alternative isn't compromise, it isn't peace through exhaustion, it isn't 2 people learning to want less, it's a simple decision. To shatter the individual dreams, not because your dreams don't matter, but because 2 dreams pointed in different directions will eventually consume everything that you both have. And to redirect that energy towards the problems, towards the shared dream, towards what 2 whole people can build when they stop being each other's obstacle. Same dream, same team. It's not a slogan, it's a decision about where your energy goes. 2 people filling themselves, facing outwards, not fighting each other, fighting the things that actually need. The question isn't whether your relationship can survive. It's how much capacity you've been burning getting to this moment and what becomes possible the moment you stop. That's the only question worth asking.